fearful to start, right? That's their biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
And then once you realize that once you start, entrepreneurship is just a series of problems that you solve on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, so there is no ending. It
Right.
just is. And you're saying, hey, I want you to take all your knowledge, all your skills, and I want you to package together, and I want you to stand up in front of people, and I want you to communicate that to people.
Today we have Roshun Jones, and he is an amazing friend, mentor, and person that I look up to. And every single time I jump on the phone with him, he pushes me. So I'm excited to have him here at the Eventpreneur Podcast. So welcome, Roshun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You said look up to me, and I'm thinking, man, you're taller than I am.
I mean, in all the career and wisdom that you have.
Yeah.
But welcome. I'm excited to
Thank
have
you.
you at the
I'm
podcast.
honored to be here.
Yeah, thanks. And we're gonna just jump right into like the event, just entrepreneurship in general.
I would
And
expect nothing less from
because I
Victor.
love to just jump right into things. But yeah, tell us how you got, how long ago, what inspired you to be an entrepreneur, and what you are doing now to help others.
Okay. So I got started in entrepreneurship in the third grade, actually,
Okay.
when I think back to it. So
What were you selling? Pop Tarts and
I was
chocolates?
selling my toys.
Oh.
So I would take my, the little cars and the transformers and all that stuff, and I would take it to my third grade class, and we would trade. And then I would trade it for money. I would trade it for other toys. And so I would get little smaller toys and then trade it into bigger toys and then sell that for cash. And then I could buy my lunch or buy lunch with the money that I got from selling them.
Okay.
So that was like my first introduction to entrepreneurship.
Very nice. So exchanging toys. See, it's not all about food. I'm over here
No.
talking about food, and your toys. Awesome. Well, what sparked it? Just selling your toys. Like, what is
Survival.
Survive. Okay, survival.
I
That's
need
one
to
way to
eat.
do
I want to eat.
entrepreneurship. That's survive. You got to make
Yeah.
money somehow. So
Yeah,
you didn't buy.
absolutely.
And so, after you started training your toys, what was the next step that you were doing as an entrepreneur? What were you?
I would say, like most kids, in elementary, we had Helen Grace at the school that I went to, so we had to sell for fundraising.
Gotcha.
So I would sell chocolates, but I never really sold the chocolates, so I would give it to my mom. She would take it to work. So I guess I became a manager at a young age.
Outsourced.
I just delegated and outsourced it to someone else, and so that would be my next step into entrepreneurship. And then I went from there, went and worked an actual job, got my first job. But I think I did my first job was as what are those people? The paper boy. I was a
Paperboy. Okay.
Yeah, I did that for one season, and then I got a job as a pizza flipper at Pizza Hut. Went to school, and then I got into entrepreneurship in my adulthood later down the road.
So I know you are a data person. You are a computer science, right? You're graduated with a computer science major.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
Yes, I know
many
that's
people acknowledge the fact that I'm a data scientist, actually.
because you are, and I know that's a craft that you love and pursued, obviously through a degree. What made you take that leap from, being a employee into that world, going into an entrepreneur role?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think I've always had a desire for freedom,
Mm.
and let me tell you about my journey from
Yeah.
from. So I am a data scientist, and I have a master's in computer science with an emphasis in data science. That came about as a result of me being a software engineer for so many years, and so that was my career, and I loved it. I was self-taught as a computer programmer back in the early 2000s, and I was able to get opportunity after opportunity where I could get developer jobs without having the degree.
Hmm.
And then the .com crash came, like early 2000s, and there was thousands of software engineers, software professionals that were on the market, because all the .coms they went to crap. There was no funding, and so now I was in a market where I had to compete with people who had bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and even PhDs.
Hmm.
So here I am with just my technical degree and how to fix computers, and now I'm competing with Doctor So and So who is like brainiac and like artificial intelligence and all
Right.
that stuff. So I went back to school to actually get a computer science degree, but I had to make a couple leaps. I wanted to be a nurse, so I was going to go to school, become a nurse practitioner. So I started studying, going to nursing school,
Oh.
and then at a certain point, I decided that I was going to go into computer science because I said, I'm tired of going to school. How many credits do I need to finish my nursing degree versus how many credits do I need to finish my computer science degree? And I had less credits to finish my computer science degree versus my nursing, so I finished out my computer science degree.
Wow.
Went that route, and I got my master's degree in computer science. And by that point, I was completely burned out. And I was asking myself, what am I doing with my career? I'm not helping anyone. I don't feel like I'm creating an impact on the world. And that's when I got into coaching. And so I got certified. I learned how to coach. I learned how to heal my own like past wounds and traumas.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a passion for it. And I completely walked away from my computer science career.
Yeah. Was that hard for you? Because I know that, including myself,
Yeah.
right? Something I'm currently still have a full-time job and I have a business and I'm an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
What was that journey for you and taking that leap?
You know, I always tell people when it's your calling and you're being obedient to your calling, the decision is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that it didn't come with some moments where I was like how am I going to eat? What am I going to do? But there was always provisions, and it was probably one of the easiest leaps that I made because I felt like I was leaning more towards my purpose and my calling versus just doing everything that the world was telling me that I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm like taking the leap of faith. I have a passion for live events, and that's what I want to lean into. Into that. And so you were graduated with a science major degree. You started taking, getting certified as a coach. Talk to me about your like early stages of entrepreneurship. And I know being an entrepreneur is full of roller coasters. Was it hard for you to? You said it was easy to take that leap, but once you started being that coach and that entrepreneur, tell me your early stages of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you said that, I immediately thought, I think that every stage of entrepreneurship is early stages of entrepreneurship, right? I don't know that you ever really get to a place where it's like, this is easy. This is, it's going to be a walk on the park.
Something new is coming out.
Yeah.
Technology.
So we go in levels, right? So there's a saying, the heaviest weight in the gym is the front door. And that's what stops a lot of people from actually going to the gym. And then so if you take that and you map it over into business, there's a lot of entrepreneurs or new, like starting entrepreneurs that are so fearful to start, right? That's their biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
And then once you realize that once you start, entrepreneurship is just a series of problems that you solve on a daily basis.
Yep.
Like, so there is no ending. It just is.
There's always going to be a new problem to solve.
And so,
that's how we make money.
Exactly. And it's interesting that you say that because the amount of money that you make is proportionate to the size of the problems that you solve. Right? So if you want to make a lot of money, solve big problems.
Yep.
And so you asked me earlier, so how did I get into entrepreneurship? So I had a problem to solve. I wanted to eat lunch. So what did I do? I had these things over here that I exchanged for money, and then I exchanged that money for food. Right? It was a problem that I saw, and I went to go solve it. And as an engineer, that's all I do is solve problems. So the natural progression to entrepreneurship was easy for me with respect to that because I was like, oh, this is just another problem to solve.
You had that mindset.
Yeah, the mindset was already there. Like it's just problem solving versus, oh, it's business and I'm a business person and all that stuff. No, you're a problem solver.
Right.
Entrepreneurs are problem solvers.
And so let's lean into mindset and how is it important as an entrepreneur to have the right mindset or be surrounded by the right people, right? Sometimes we even family, right? Sometimes our families don't understand us because they're not in that world of entrepreneurship. So talk about a little bit about mindset and how entrepreneurs, how to just get better with themselves, surround themselves with the right people,
Hmm.
and what experience have you done or have done to be surrounded by the right people and get that mindset right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So as you said, mindset is everything, and not just in business, but relationship and your health and all aspects of your life.
Hmm.
It's all mindset. Why? Because so there's subjective reality and then there's objective reality. And we like to think that we live in objective reality, but we don't. We
Right.
live in subjective reality.
Yeah.
And so everything that we see and that we hear, we feel, we touch is all it's all a manifestation of what our minds create based off of our past, our emotions, our experiences, any traumas that we may have. We see the world through that lens.
Hmm.
How that relates to business. If someone has prior to them even going into business, they have a belief that they're not worthy of success, or they self-sabotage, or someone told them that they're never going to amount to
Yeah.
anything, or any of the myriad of limiting beliefs that people have, they're going to create situations in their business that reinforces that belief that they have.
Projecting.
They're going to project it
Yeah.
onto their business. They're going to project it onto their employees. They're going to
Their
project it onto the
clients.
clients, to the vendor. Like so, as a coach, I've done the most. Like I've been coached by my clients more
Mm.
than anything else, right? Because they're just previous versions of me.
Yep.
And so when I'm in a coaching session and they're saying something or they're telling me an experience, I'm like, oh, I remember that.
Mm.
And as a coach, like I think that's my superpower
Yeah.
because I know what version they are and I'm several steps ahead of that.
Right.
So I know what they're thinking. I know what their next step is. Like, and so I can guide them efficiently because I've been there.
Yep.
So you can see how like having the right mindset, especially as an entrepreneur, you're just solving problems every day.
Yeah.
There are some people that get to a point where it gets too unbearable and they stop because they go, oh, like this thing didn't work out because there's something that means about me.
Yeah. And it goes into like that fixed mindset versus growth mindset.
Absolutely.
And again, going back to the community aspect, finding those people with a growth
Yeah.
mindset, because then you're just going to be fixed and stuck in that, like, it's just going to be coming back.
Absolutely.
So talk to me about like how it's important to continue having that growth mindset and
Yeah.
personal development
Yeah.
and being surrounded with like-minded people.
Yeah. So there's, not to get too technical about things, right? But so our beliefs, um, they create values that we have, things that are important to us in life.
Right.
And it turns out like the more experiences that we have, the more things that we put ourselves through, our beliefs shift and our values shift. The things that are important to us shift. When you take the difference between someone who works as an employee versus someone who works as the owner of the company has put themselves out there. They've
Risk it all.
risked it all. They had their face like slammed into the dirt.
Work 24 hours.
Right? But in their mind, there's different belief systems that are being hardwired, and things are more important to them. And so that's where their value system evolves to a different level. And so you talk about community. When you're talking to someone about return on investment and what your CAC is and your long term value of a customer, you can have a group of people that get it, and then you have a group of people who don't get it.
Right.
And so when you're in that phase of your business and you're in that phase of your life, it's nice to be around people that you can just talk about those things with, and they get it. They're like, oh yeah, you know what? Like I had an issue with, I was running some Facebook ads, and my ROAS was like -2, right? I think you were sharing earlier, like you had an ad that was running, and
Yep.
and it needs to be turned off. Right? He's like, am I paying for this? Right? It's like when you're actually running ads and you understand the ramifications of running ads and not getting returns on it, you can relate to that.
Right.
Versus someone is like, why would you be running ads? Like I don't understand that. I go on Facebook just to see my friends like cats. right? It's a completely different mindset
100%.
when you hang out with people that get it and other people. And it's not anything about the people, not to say that they just their values, what's important to them is different.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we'll continue with mindset and kind of leaning it towards live events, right?
Okay.
And Eventpreneur is all about live events or just events in general
Right.
on bringing together a group of community to where you're able to impact from stage and
Right.
offer your product or service.
Right.
Just in general, what type of mindset should an entrepreneur have when wanting to start an event in general?
Yeah.
And then let's go into, an offer, right? We're all here as entrepreneurs to make money, and a live event is a vehicle for them to do so from the one of many. What is the mindset that someone needs to have to say yes to get that community together and create that impact?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said earlier, open or growth mindset.
Yeah.
Think about this, right? Speaking in front of people,
It's a whole nother.
right? So you take the money aspect out of it, right?
Right.
Let's just think about like what actually happens at Eventpreneur. Okay. So you have the number one fear that humans have is public speaking.
Mhm.
And you're saying, hey, I want you to take all your knowledge, all your skills, and I want you to package together, and I want you to stand up in front of people, and I want you to communicate that to people. Like, so in their mind, they're thinking, I remember when I was in third grade and XYZ, and I remember the Billy, he pulled my hair, and all the things, right?
I said it in my story too.
Right?
I had to speak in front of high school class. I had to go use the restroom, right? I didn't need to use the restroom. I just didn't want to do it because I was so fearful of speaking in front of stages. So,
yeah.
yes.
So I don't know that I've like really ever shared this before, so I'm going to share it with you because I just feel called to say this. So in college, even all through school, so I was really shy. I was super shy, really, really shy. And to get through college, my strategy, first day of school, everyone dreads it. All introverts, if there's introverts that are here and they dread this one thing, the introduction, right?
Yes.
Stand up, introduce yourself, and tell us why you're taking this class. And I'm always like, I'm taking this class because I have to. I need to take Algebra 90, right? So my strategy was I always missed the first day of school. I always missed the first day of class to avoid that in particular, right?
So then you could just hide for the rest of the semester.
Yeah, and I just hide for the rest of the semester, like do the bare minimum and just get through it, right? So the idea of me being at the front of the stage was so completely foreign. And so what happens with events like yours, Eventpreneur, is it's not just about going out and getting clients and doing all that stuff. There's huge breakthrough in just breaking through all the BS that we dealt with as kids, right? Like aside from business, it's the power and the empowerment, I'll say, the empowerment of being able to overcome the bullying and the name calling and the doubting and all that stuff and saying, hey, you know what? God gifted me with gifts and talents and a message to impact people and to be able to share it now in front of people. That's the real win.
Right.
Because when you do that, you're able to connect with people and relate with people. And when the people follow you, they bring money.
Right.
Right? The people have the money. So you just have to go out and connect with the people and impact the people, and they'll follow you.
Love that. If you're enjoying this podcast, I want you to join the movement. I've created an Eventpreneur collective school group community where like-minded entrepreneurs, coaches, experts are wanting to start and scale their next live event. Here, there's going to be live calls, there's going to be challenges, there's going to just be an amazing community of entrepreneurs that want to become eventpreneurs. So if you're one of those that are wanting to take the next step or scale your next live event, click the link below, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and be part of the movement. And that's what I created as Eventpreneur Workshop, is to give them a space. So then let's work on it, right? It's more than, like you said, take money aside. Let's work on overcoming the fear of public speaking, overcoming the fear of giving an offer, right? And you have something in your business that could help someone else.
Yeah.
And so you are the bridge. So it's a disservice not to have you on stage.
Absolutely.
Because it's people are on the other side of the bridge raising their hand saying, I need help. And so whatever offer that is or whatever service you are in, either health, wellness, or relationship, someone's on the other side of that bridge saying, I need help. And that is why the platform is kind of a movement. Eventpreneur is wanting to have entrepreneurs get on their own stage and tell their story and why they are there to impact others, but why they should be working with them, like with you, or with, And so for you, you're a master of now, you're a coach and you're coaching others do breakthroughs and get out of their ish, right? Tell us about your coaching and like what have you experienced entrepreneurs go through, or what's going on now that you're helping them, because the world is worlding, right? For lack of a better term. But in your coaching world right now, helping entrepreneurs, what is that? What are you seeing that's keep coming up, and what pattern are you seeing for every entrepreneur?
What you just said, like the world is worlding. So I believe there's a system of good and evil. And I feel like there's forces that are at play right now, and there's a battle. And so as it relates to entrepreneurs, and not really just entrepreneurs, right? Like let's kind of like take entrepreneur and put that term aside, and just talk about people that are meant to have impact on the world. I do also have a belief that entrepreneurs are they're an army. Right? You have an army of good and an army of bad, right? There's and when you can get a band of good entrepreneurs together, like they can create tremendous good for our society. So doubt, fear, anger, like all these negative emotions that people deal with, those are all tools of evil to keep the good from actualizing what they're meant to have, the impact they're meant to create and to impose upon the world, right? And so I feel like what I do is I intercede in that.
Put a spotlight out in the good.
Yeah, you find the people, right? So there's a biblical principle, that I follow, and Jesus says this, my sheep will hear my voice. So when you're on that side of the bridge and you're sharing your message, and someone's on the other side of the bridge, they're going, yes, hey, I'm here, but they're trying to find a way over, right? That thing that you do is what gets them there, that bridge, as you said, right? But you have a lot of people out there, like entrepreneurs or people that want to provide impact. They're just as fearful. And as soon as you can get them to understand that their impact that they have is so much greater than this false evidence that's appearing as real fear, right? It's just an illusion meant to keep you from doing the thing that you were meant to do,
right?
And once you break that down, you get rid of that. Then what I do as I'm working with people, I'm not just working with one person, I'm working with a multitude of people, right? Because I've think about, you helped a group of people see the vision, their vision, the impact that they can have. You alone have now impacted a multitude of people by what you did.
Never thought of that.
Right?
Yeah.
You getting out of your shit allowed impact to happen for not just one person, but that person, that person, that person, that person, and then all the people that they will help. And then all the people that they will help. And and then all the people that they will help.
It's a ripple effect.
Right? In the Bible, it says to be fruitful and multiply. Not go out and work and help one person.
That gave me the chills.
But go out and be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah. But even me, I didn't even think of it even that far.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm just helping that one person in my events. It's like, no, I'm actually it's helping so many other people.
It's a multitude of people that you're helping.
Wow. I'm just blown away. So I'm just like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. We get so caught up in. That's why I would like take all the labels off of it. Take like the businessy kind of stuff away from it, and let's just talk about like purpose and calling and like what we're meant to do. It's not even about being an entrepreneur. It's about like how do I go? People. Yeah, how do I go serve? How do I go serve people? When you serve people
through your expertise, your passion, your just everything.
You don't want me like being your event coordinator. That is, God did not say, Roshun, you're gifted. Yes, you're gifted with helping people. Like, man, me like getting a plane ticket or reserving a room or whatever. That's not my skill set. That's not top of
God gave us all different skill sets for a reason.
But if you want me to create the reservation system that people use to do it, I'm your man. Like I can do that. But being on the other side of it and going, which room do it like that's just not, God didn't give me that way, unfortunately. Fortunately and unfortunately.
The power of collaboration.
Absolutely.
Right? I love to do the reservations, the logistical standpoint, and you like the coach and just it's just the power of collaboration in a team. And who you surround yourself with and collaborate with. I think it's powerful because we are able to help each other through our strengths and skill sets.
Absolutely. So there's a God's economy, and in God's economy, everyone has a role. And so you'll never see, like if you look in Jewish communities, like an accountant, for instance. So in God's economy, you're meant to take your gifts and your talents and serve God's people. So based on that, you're not going to see an accountant out trying to do changing people's tires on their car, or cutting grass, or doing any of these things. They're going to take it to someone who specializes in that. And so if you take that principle and you apply it to your business, that is exactly what you're talking about. I was talking to a gentleman the other day. He's a carpenter. And he was like, yeah, I'm a master carpenter. And, I shared with him, I said, I've tried to flip houses. I had all the tools. I looked cute in my tool belt and stuff like that. But it takes me twice as long and it costs me twice as much to do it because that's not my skill set. That's not what I excel in. And so if people can leverage that principle and understand that instead of trying to be the one man band and delegate, you'll go farther, faster. I always get confused with farther. Farther is distance, further is like time.
No, yeah, and that's the power of building your team.
Absolutely.
And again, doesn't have to be entrepreneur, or it's important to have those skill sets be part of your team in order to grow your business or scale your events, whatever that may be. And so it's the power, again, the people that you're surrounded with and who you want to work with.
Absolutely.
And that's a unique thing that entrepreneurs have, is we're able to say who we want to work with and don't want to work with, and who we want to be surrounded with. But and so what do you, I know you do coaching right now. Is there any special projects, or how are you serving your community in the skill set that you have?
Yeah, absolutely.
That people want to know, and how they could get them more involved and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. So I struggled as a coach for years with getting my message out. I didn't understand the business side of coaching. Really good at like the actual transformation portion of it. And a lot of coaches I've noticed, they struggle with the business side of things because all they're thinking about is going out and serving, which is good. I love
Right.
that servant heart. And there's the business side of things that they get to lean into, such as how do I package what I do? How do I package my skill set so that it's received by the people that I'm meant to serve?
Right.
And so when I first started, it was come get an emotional release and feel better, right?
That wouldn't be me.
Doesn't
No,
resonate,
no,
right?
no.
You're like, feelings? I don't
I don't
know.
get
What
feelings.
are those things, right? And so I spent years trying to solve the problem of like, how do I sell mindset? Because people aren't scrolling on Facebook and Instagram going, man, I need a mindset post to like that's gonna transform my life, right?
Right.
What they're looking for is transforming their relationship, their health. They want to make more money, which is why if you look at ads and stuff on social media, they're all centered around those three things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people want to make more money, they want to have a better relationship, and they want to feel healthier, or they want to be healthier.
Right.
And so when you can package things into those three major markets, and then find a specific niche, is what we call it, right? Like I help high performing men, you know, lose 10 pounds in 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Or you know, I'll help you increase. I help high achieving men increase their productivity in 30% over the next 3 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are things I go, oh wow, if I increase my productivity 30%, I can make more money, right?
Right.
And usually it's like if I make more money, then I can get a good relationship. I can get the wife that I want, like all the things, right?
Right.
If I work out, I can get the relationship I want. So I found that you can kind of you can take an you know what we call an offer, and you can morph it into one of those three major markets very easily.
Right.
You can take the same very skill set that you have. See, like I'm a mindset coach, and I help people get rid of those beliefs that they have from way back in the past. I can take those same skill sets and I can package them into a health offer, into a relationship offer, into a wealth offer very easily just by manipulating what the offer looks like,
The messaging
all that stuff. So other people can do the same thing, like your skill set, for instance. Like you can take your skill set and you can package it however you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I love about Eventpreneur, is that that's exactly what you did, right? There's a lot of event coordinators out there that will show up and just say, I'm going to help you do your wedding, or I'll help you do your event, or I'll help you do this, all that stuff. But you had the brilliance to say, hey, you know what? Like it's so much more than just the event. Like how can I take what I do and create this transformational community and environment?
Yeah. And I'm also stepping out of my comfort zone of, I don't know too many event coordinators that are also putting on their own live events. And so for me, when I now work with my clients, I'm just not asking for a credit card because I've been on the other side where I'm giving my credit card, right? I'm more intentional with making sure that the client is saving money and not at risk and you know all those things, where now I'm on the other side where it's more intentional. So that's kind of why I also want to do it, and also offer my skills, and bringing other people that are like yourself as a coach, that you're really helping people get their skill set and put it into an offer for them to able to transform others.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's just the beauty of creating all those things and putting it into something that then someone could go and say, yes, I need your help. Yes, I need your service, or whatever that may be. And so, how is it helping those people, or currently, how are you doing that? Is it a course? Is it you do more one-on-one, I'm assuming, or how are people able to kind of connect with you and learn on, hey, I got something, I got a skill set, I have a product or service, but I need help creating a beautiful, irresistible offer, or a powerful offer?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's so I just launched a program where I've been working with therapists, with practitioners, with coaches that have offers or they're trying to tweak their offers. And basically, like you said, just taking what their gift is and packaging it in a way that's transformational versus transactional. Right. So you've probably seen there's a lot of practitioners, coaches, therapists out there. Like if you're saying to yourself, I charge X number of dollars by the hour, you're in transactional pricing, right? And so that immediately puts the customers into a transactional mindset. They're going, oh, okay, this is $50 an hour, and so you've now made yourself a commodity.
Right.
I can now compare you to this person over here, right? And now I can go, okay, this is $50 an hour. This one's $35 an hour. Then I'm just going to go with $35 an hour person, right? And so when you take a look at that, right? So how someone would make a decision just based off price alone, they're not even looking at like the result. And so another aspect of it as well is when we use the word offer, right? So offer is really just an invitation to come in and transform. And also it is if you're not getting something, like if like when you go to the store, you buy groceries and all this stuff. And I can even make the argument that it's the same as well. But you're really selling a promise. Right? You're if someone comes to me and they say, "Hey, I need help with my offer, or I need help with procrastination, or I need help with all the things," right? I'm saying to them, okay, if you do give me your credit card, I promise that I'm going to get you this result, right? And when you think about the things that you've bought in the past that you didn't leave the store with, you bought a promise. That's why know, like, and trust is so important. Because if you don't know, like, and trust the person, then you're not going to buy their promise. Right? It's like this is pretty clear, right? So helping people figure out what their big promise is the first stage in what I do with them. Help them figure out what their first promise is, and then validate an invitation that they can send out and start to get data back. And then once they start to get data back, once you start to go, this is a validated invitation, then you throw gas on it and
send
it just
it out.
Takes off. Very simple, right?
Yeah. If people want to work on their promise, how can they get a hold of you?
Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me. Roshun.Jones at Roshun.Jones. Yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of me. Send me a message.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast. This has been really fun. And again, I hope to see you again back in the future and then talk more. This is a very important topic that should always be in the forefront for just everybody.
Absolutely.
How to keep going and just get better in your mindset and surround yourself with better people, growth-minded people. So I thank you again for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was really fun.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.